anymore because everyone has.
Did anybody leave a green flag?
I close it.
Not that I saw. Probably. Yeah.
Okay. So the first one, again, it's translation just like we did for the last one. So he sees her book. He sees her book. He sees his own book.
What day is today? 28, right?
28. The third one is he sees their book. The next one.
Probably green.
Yeah.
The giving tree.
What is? Oh.
Literature. He sees them is the next one. The next one is he sees himself. And the last one is he says that he sees them. He says that he sees them. So think about what kind of construction you're going to need for that.
He said that he sees them.
He says that he sees them. Mm-hmm. And would you need to repeat any of them?
Can you repeat the fourth one?
The fourth one
Please.
is going to be he sees them. Okay.
We have like 2 more seconds.
2 more seconds.
I'm just trying to
One.
think.
So he sees her book, so they're all, except for the last one, going to start with what? He sees.
We did.
We did. Right? He sees, just present tense. So the first one, he sees her book. Who feels confident about their answer for that one? He sees her book.
We did Librum Eius.
Perfect. Okay. We did Librum. He sees the book Eius of her. Very nice. Not reflexive, right? He's just talking about the book of someone else. So we did Librum Eius. The next one is he sees his own book. So again, Vida doesn't change. So Vida Librum Suum using the reflexive. Good. So he sees his book, his own book. Okay? And remember, this is a pronoun, which is why it's always eius, no matter what it's going with. Whereas this is an adjective, so it has to modify its noun in case, number, and gender. Okay, good. He sees their book. What would he sees their book be? Yeah, earum or eorum. Very nice. Okay, so librum, eorum, or it could be feminine, earum. Good, because there in English is not gender differentiated, whereas it would be in Latin. Very nice. Okay. Good. The book of them. He sees them. What would we say for he sees them? Ida.
We did Eos.
Eos, good. Remember just your third person pronoun. Isse, it. He sees them. Eos. Okay. He sees himself. Would be what, Emily? What would we say?
I'm not sure if it's right. We say.
Say. Perfect. Yes. Good. Because you want to use say, which is what? What do we call say? It's the reflexive pronoun. Good. And so remember, it doesn't change, right? Just reflects back to the subject, so it doesn't need to change between gender and number. Very nice. And the last one, he says that he sees them. So we're going to have to change our verb here. What's the verb in the sentence going to be?
Dicit.
Dicit. Very nice. He says. Okay. And then what kind of construction do we go into after that?
Quam.
No, it depends.
He says. It's okay. Either way, it wouldn't make a difference. So not quam. Remember when you say he says that, accusative infinitive. So we don't translate the that into Latin. We just go into accusative infinitive. So what's our accusative subject going to be? He says that he sees them. So he's going to be the accusative subject. And how are we going to translate that? He says that he sees them. What are we going to say for he? Is he saying that someone else is seeing them? He himself sees them. So what are we going to use? Say. Okay. So he's going to say, he says that he himself. And then what are we going to do for sees?
We did. We did.
It doesn't have to be passive, but the infinitive. Good. So, because we're in accusative infinitive. So we dare. So he could say we dare. Eos. Perfect. He says that he sees them. Good. Very nice. So I will collect them and start every day. You weren't here. Okay, so go ahead and get out the reflexive sheet that I gave you guys yesterday. I know that I put it up wrong on the Schoology because I was still thinking we were block 7.
Yeah, I also put in the comments that it really wasn't Friday. I was like, sweet! I'll do it!
You're welcome to do it. I will see you.
So let's just go over the questions at the top, which you wouldn't have done anyway. But what is the nature of reflexive pronouns? Meaning, when do you use reflexive pronouns?
To go back to like a personal pronoun,
Good.
Or-
Reflecting back to you, and usually it's the subject. So it's when the subject is doing something to itself, right? I see myself in the mirror, things like that. I talk to myself, that kind of thing. Very nice. And explain why there is no nominative then of the reflexive pronoun. Why would there not be a nominative for the reflexive?
Well, because like in English you can't say I self. or-
Exactly, good, because it's always reflecting back to the subject, therefore it cannot be the subject, right? You can't be the reflection and the thing itself, right? Okay, good. And then for which reflexive pronouns are the same as the personal pronouns? First and second persons, right? It's only for the third person that you have a separate reflexive pronoun, the sui, sibi, say. Okay, nice. So for the fourth one, translate the following reflexive forms in accordance with their case or cases. Some of them could be multiple things. So the first one is mihi. So how do we translate mihi, Nate?
I say. Oh wait, I don't know where I got say from.
Which case is mihi?
Is it genitive?
Not genitive.
Dative.
Dative. So how would you translate it?
So to me.
To me or for me. And if we're doing it reflexively, how would that change our translation? Not to me, but
To myself.
to myself. Very nice. So Emily, Tay.
That would be to, or that's, it's to use it, or it could be ablative.
Could be either. Good. And either way, so let's make it accusative because it's easier to translate. So, but not you because we're making it reflexive. So
Yourself.
yourself. Very nice. Shirley, no.
It's not. Shit. Or wait. It's ablative.
Ablative or
dative.
or dative.
So it's to or for, by, with, or from us.
Reflexive.
Or ourselves.
Ourselves. Good. So Mark, Sibby.
It is he.
So for what case is Sibby?
It is the accusative. Then
Just like Tibby or he.
no. It's the appletive. Wait, what?
The only one that you forgot.
Genitive.
The genitive, yes, the dative. Yes, it's dative, and it comes from what? The dative of what?
Soon.
Good at that reflexive third person pronoun. Okay. So how would you translate Sibby? How could you translate Sibby?
She.
Dative. So we're gonna have to start with
it.
Dative. Two or for.
Him.
Okay. 2 or 4, but it's reflexive, so 2 or 4 himself. Or what else could Sibby be? 2 or 4 herself, or
it.
themselves, or itself. So all by itself without any
All by
context. All by
Yes.
itself. Nice. Without any context, you can't tell. So you would have to translate always. Good. Aaron, wos.
It means you, and it's nominative.
It could be nominative, but we're doing the reflexive, so it's not going to be
Okay.
nominative. It's going to be
So dative.
which ones are the same? It goes wos,
Oh.
west.
Vocative.
Would be, but again, the reflexive isn't going to have a vocative.
Okay.
So
The
which case is often the same as the nominative.
accusative.
Accusative. So how are we going to translate wos knowing that it's reflexive? So not just you, but
So yourself.
but that would be te, right? Wos is not just you, but
you all.
you all. So we would say your.
Your.
How do we make yourself plural? You guys did this too. Yourselves, plural. So we are going to have to distinguish with the reflexive between singular and plural. Yourselves. Say, Adele. Accusative or ablative of the reflexive pronoun. So making it accusative, what could it be?
It could be themselves.
Themselves. That's one thing.
Herself.
Herself. Himself. Itself. Okay. All those things. And Ido Bovis.
To or yourselves.
Good. So it could be dative or it could be
What?
in ablative, right? Because remember, it is plural because you guys, it's plural by nature, and in the plural, the dative and ablative always go together. They always have the same form. Okay. So going down to the translation. So let's just go around. So on number 8, go ahead and read the Latin and then translate it.
Caesar eos servalet. Caesar saved them.
Caesar saved them. Good. Nate, start.
I was using protect for the verb. Is that
Protected, yeah, that's
English?
totally fine. So protected, saved,
Correct.
guarded,
Okay.
any of those things.
Say that must have taken 6 years.
Yeah. Kaiser eam servabat. I guess what I wrote is wrong, so it would be oh wait, no, would it just be Caesar guards him?
Yeah, was guarding or guarded. Good. Caesar was guarding him. So just the singular of that same sentence. Good. And
Caesar saves servalet.
Mhm.
Caesar saved himself.
saved himself. Good. That reflects the pronoun reflecting back to the subject, Caesar. Good. Shirley?
Romani se servalerit. The Romans saved themselves.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. So say the exact same word. They don't need a different word because it's just reflecting back to the subject. Okay. Good.
Romani eos servalerant. The Romans guard themselves.
That would be Romani se servalerant.
Oh.
What's the difference between Romani se servalerant and Romani eos servalerant?
The difference is, I know this. Wait. I don't know what the difference
So what kind of word is se?
It's a reflexive.
Reflexive. Is eos the same kind of word?
No.
No, it's just a regular
it's
third
just
person pronoun.
All right.
So the Romans saved
them.
them, exactly.
Okay.
Good.
Oh, it's just using.
So it's only reflexive. The only time it can be reflexive is if it has a say in there. If there's no
Okay.
S, that's not going to be reflexive.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Aaron?
Romani eum servalerunt.
Mhm.
The Romans protected him.
Mhm. Very nice. Again, not reflexive. Good.
Kaiser amicum sum servalet. Caesar saved his own friend.
His own friend. Good. Very nice.
Wait, how do you know it's Caesar guarded? Or what she just said, and not Caesar guarded his friend himself.
That would make it sound like, so that would be the intensifier, so it would be Caesar ipse, Caesar himself protected his friend, and in that case you would still want to use suum to say it was his own friend as opposed to the friend of someone else. So here you just, the idea here is that you want to make sure that you're saying whose friend it is. That's what suum tells you. It tells you whose friend it is. It's his own friend. Okay. So the sentence you said is not impossible grammatically, it's just not quite what this one says because there's no ipse in there.
Okay.
Ido, what were we going to
15.
Yeah, Kaiser amicus suum servalet. Caesar saved his friends.
His friends, good. And remember, suisaum, meaning his own, her own, their own, is just an adjective. Okay, so it's got to modify its noun in case, number, and gender. Good. Okay. Yeah.
Kaiser amicum eos servalet. Caesar saved their friends.
Not there. It's his friend, meaning not his own friend. He saved that guy's friend. Okay, so it's a little difficult for us to express in English. It gets confusing. In Latin, it's very clear that he's talking about someone else's friend, not his own. In English, it's not as clear.
Wait, so it should be Caesar saved his friend?
Right.
Again?
His,
Okay.
and then sometimes, because again in English, that usually makes it sound like it's his own friend, so you might much clearly. Okay, Nate?
17.
18.
18.
No,
The one-
no, you're right. 17.
17. Amicus eius servalis. This is not right. Caesar guarded his friends.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Didn't we just have that? No.
We had Caesar
They're all-
guarded his friend, singular, so this is just multiple friends, but it's the same idea. His, someone else's friends.
So it's
So it's
there you
his,
go.
it's, but
Or
it's
her
not
friends.
Caesar.
If it makes it
again.
easier, you can say her friends.
Oh, okay, that doesn't.
But
Because it's the friend of her. Mhm.
How do you break that? So it's like I get what it is, but do you write it his friends? Because then it sounds like possessive.
So that's what I'm saying. So in English, we don't really differentiate that way. In Latin, it's perfectly clear it's someone else's friends, not his own, but it's not clear in English.
Okay.
So for the purpose of these exercises, because there's no context, you can say Caesar saved her friends, which makes it clear it's not his
Okay.
own. Good. And now we're on 18. Right?
Yeah, Caesar amicum eorum servavit.
Mhm.
But Caesar saved their friends,
Their amicum, their
their friends.
friend, singular. Caesar saved their friend. Sure.
Kaiser amicus eorum servavit. Caesar saves their friends.
Their friends, plural. Good.
20. Romani amicum suam servaverant. The Romans guarded their friends themselves.
Their own friends.
Their own friends.
So if you say their friends themselves, again, that sounds like ipsos.
Okay.
It sounds like the intensifier, not the reflexive.
Okay.
So the Romans guarded their own friend.
Okay. Themselves or just their own friends?
Nope, it doesn't say that because that would be ipsi somewhere in there.
Okay.
Romani amicos suos servaverunt. The Romans protected their own friends.
Friends, plural. Very nice. Good. 22.
Romani amicum eorum servaverunt. The Romans guarded the friends of them.
Of them. Their friends, but again, not their own friends, the friends of them, of those other people. Good. Peter.
Romani amicos eorum servaverunt. The Romans guarded their friends.
Their friends, not their own friends, the friends of those.
Do you mind if I close this door for 10 minutes?
Olivia? 24, I think.
Romani amicum eos servaverunt. So the Romans saved his friend.
Very nice. Not reflexive. Nate, 25.
Romani amicus eius servaverunt. The Romans guarded his friends.
His friends. Again, not reflexive. Good. Emily, 26.
Caesar ipse eam servavit. Caesar saved himself.
Careful. So now they're throwing in the ipse just to confuse you. So Caesar saved himself. How would you say that? Caesar
Servavit.
say. So for that we would use the reflexive. This ipse is just intensifying Caesar. So Caesar himself saved him, someone else.
Okay.
Good. So it does get confusing in English. So Caesar himself, or the very Caesar, saved him.
Wait, number is that
27.
Caesar ipse se servavit. Caesar himself saved himself.
Exactly. Good. Okay. Very nice.
Caesarem ipsum severunt. Caesar.
What case is Caesaren?
Oh, plural. No.
There's only one Caesar.
That would make more sense. It's the genitive.
Which case ends
Dative.
in M?
Accusative.
Accusative. Good. So he's the object, so we want to go straight to the verb. So servaverunt. Who's
So-
doing the saving?
They are.
Good. So they saved
They saved-
Caesarem ipsum.
Caesar.
Caesar
Or
ipsum.
himself.
Caesar himself. Again, not reflexive, it's just the intensifier. They saved the very Caesar. They saved Caesar himself.
amicum Caesaris ipsius servabant. Caesar, the friends of Caesar.
Careful, what case is amicum?
Oh,
Accuser. So let's go to the verb again.
So, safe. Will save.
No, that would be bunt. Bamba, spot. What tense is that always?
Imperfect.
Imperfect. So it's just past tense. So they.
Okay. They had.
Not had, but how do we usually translate the imperfect tense, guys? Used to. They used to save, or they were saving. So they were saving the amicum Caesaris ipsius.
They were saving the friend of Caesar himself.
Of Caesar himself. They were saving the friend of Caesar himself. Very nice. So nothing reflexive about that sentence. I just saw.
Amicum Romanorum Saturn Servala. They saved the friends of the Romans themselves.
Of the Romans themselves. Very nice. 31, Edith.
Amigos Caesaris ipsius se servalit. He saved, or the friend of Caesar saved him himself.
Close, because what's ipsius modifying? What case is ipsius?
Oh, that's modifying Caesar.
Caesar, good. So the friend of
Caesar himself saved Caesar.
saved, say.
Himself.
Himself. Good.
Oh.
So we have two totally different uses of himself in English, modifying two different people. So the friend of Caesar himself, meaning the friend of the very Caesar, saved himself. Reflexive.
Can you repeat that for me?
So the friend of Caesar himself saved himself. So the first use is just intensifying Caesar. The second use is reflexive, reflecting back to the subject, the friend.
Amici Caesaris ipsius se servalit. The friends of Caesar themselves saved himself.
The friends of Caesar, how do we translate ipsius?
Himself.
Himself, good. So the friends of Caesar himself saved themselves.
Amicus Caesaris ipsius eam servalit. The friend of Caesar himself guarded him.
Mm-hmm. Good. Not himself, nothing reflexive. He's guarding someone totally different. Good. 34 then, Emily.
Ipsi amici Caesaris eam servaverunt. They saved Caesar for, I don't know. Hang on, I got that one wrong.
That's okay. So what's your subject here? What's in the nominative?
The nominative. Amici.
Good. And not just amici, but ipsi amici. So the
the friends themselves.
friends themselves. Caesaris, the friends themselves.
Of Caesar.
Of Caesar.
Saved themselves.
Saved eum.
Saved him.
Him. So the very friends of Caesar saved him. And in this case, him could refer to Caesar, right? Because Caesar's not the subject, so it wouldn't be reflecting back to him. But it could refer to someone else. Okay, sure.
Nos non servalerent. They did not save us.
Good.
Nos servalumus. We were saved. Or we saved.
We saved, no.
We saved us. We saved them.
We saved.
We
Make it reflexive. We saved.
We saved themselves. Ourselves.
Ourselves,
There
right?
you go.
Because remember, if it's reflexive, it has to be reflecting back to the subject, which is we. So they did not save us, not reflexive, right? Subject and object are different people. We saved ourselves, reflexive. Okay.
37.
Mhm.
Romanos ipsos servo we protected the Romans ourselves.
The Romans ipsos.
The Romans themselves.
Themselves, intensifier, not reflexive, right? So we saved the Romans themselves. Ada?
Romani ipsi te non servare.
Mhm.
The Romans themselves did not save you.
Mhm.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
The Romans themselves did not save you.
Because you have my paper.
39.
You saved yourself.
You saved yourself. Tu te serviste. So the Romans did not save you. You saved yourself, reflexive.
Wait, that was 39.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
48.
Tu Romanos ipsos servo visti.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
yourself saved the Romans.
You saved the Romanos ipsos. You saved
The Romans themselves.
the Romans themselves, right? Because ipsos has to be modifying Romanos. Has the same kind of ending. 41.
Mihi nihil dabat. He owes nothing to me.
Mm-hmm. Good. He not owes, that would be debet, but this is dabat. He.
Owed.
Different verb. What verb does this come from?
Dodar.
Dodari. Good. So he.
Does. No.
Yeah.
Good. He gave. He gave or he was giving nothing to me.
Mihi nihil dedi. I gave myself nothing.
Uh-huh. Good. I gave nothing to myself. Mark?
Sibi nihil dedit.
Mhm.
This is reflexive, right?
It's reflexive, so the subject is what? It's not expressed, but what kind of subject can it
It's
be?
like themselves.
Not them, because now we did they or so. He or
He or it.
she or it, but probably he or she. So he did it.
He owed.
It's the same verb as in the previous two sentences.
He owed nothing. Nothing.
What was the verb?
Gave.
He gave.
No,
nothing.
he gave nothing
Mhm.
to them.
It's reflexive.
To eight.
If it's reflexive, it
Them
reflects back
to themselves or
to-
itself.
No, it reflects back to what? What is it
The
reflect?
subject.
The subject, which is
She or
he or she.
Yeah.
So it has to be he gave nothing.
to her.
It reflects back to the subject.
He gave nothing to himself.
Himself.
Okay.
Very nice. So he gave nothing to himself, or she gave nothing to herself. Either one. Aaron?
Sorry, 45.
44.
Okay. Sibi nihil dederunt. He gave nothing to himself.
Except that it's dederunt. So there's only one little difference between this sentence and the previous one, and that's the first one was dedit, he gave, and this is dederunt. Not about 10. It ends in NT.
Oh, they.
Good. So they gave nothing
To themselves.
to themselves. Good.
Eis nihil dederit. They gave nothing to them.
To them. To some other people. They gave nothing to them. Edith, 46.
They gave nothing.
Could be. Could be they gave nothing. What else could it be?
They gave him nothing.
They gave nothing to him, right? That AE form is a little ambiguous. It could be the nominative plural, or it could be the dative singular. So they gave nothing to him or to her. Good. 47.
Hey, Ricky.
Mhm.
I conquered myself.
I conquered myself. As opposed to 48.
Wait, can you repeat 46?
46 is they gave nothing to them. Oh, no, sorry. They gave nothing to him. So I conquered myself, May Wiki. 48 and 8.
They conquered me.
They conquered me. Good. Emily, number 49.
They conquered that with number.
Well, they conquered, what's the direct object? They conquered the...
Themselves, no.
What's in the accusative there? So Iram, Eoram, Wikaram. They conquered.
Anger? No.
Anger. That's the accusative. So they conquered the anger, Eoram.
Themselves?
Not
No.
reflexive, right? Because it doesn't have an
No.
S there. Of them. So they conquered their anger. Okay, so this does not mean they conquered their own anger. What does it mean? It means
Other people?
they conquered other people's anger, right? So someone was angry at them and they overcame that anger. As opposed to the next sentence, Shirley, which says
Iram, Suam, and Kara, which is they conquered their own anger.
their own anger. Okay.
Could you say they conquered their anger themselves?
That again sounds like ipsy. It sounds like an ipsy idea. So I would either say just they conquered their anger, which really already sounds reflexive in English, or they conquered their own anger. If it were ipsy, Iram Suam, then it would be they themselves conquered their anger, or they conquered their anger themselves. But without the ipsy, it's hard for us to translate it that way. Okay.
Iram Suam Wiki. So he conquered his anger.
He conquered his anger, his own anger. Good.
Philios Suos Wiki. The son conquered himself.
I don't know what case are Philios Suos.
Oh, is it plural?
It is plural, and what case is it? Accusative. So we want to go straight to the verb. So wicked. He.
So he conquered the son, or he conquered the sons.
Not just the sons, but Suos, Philios. Remember, it's like back to the subject. So he conquered his own sons. He conquered his own sons.
Philios, Suos, and Kara, they conquered their own sons.
Their own sons. Very nice. Okay. All right, guys. So that's a lot. Do we feel reasonably comfortable with the reflexives?
I'm good at everything but the reflexives.
So you don't feel reasonably comfortable with it. Okay. Well, we'll keep working on it. All right, that was a lot to go through, so sharp and stretch or something. And then get out your green book.
Is that a Nancy?
Wait, Adele, what are you doing for your independent reading? How are you going to do that in the documented room?
I did it on Friday.
You should just go outside in the parking lot so you can see through the window.
Oh. Yeah, I tried it in her room actually. I just can't hit that one.
I was like, shoot him.
That would be fun.
I kind of want to do something to make me draw.
Yeah, we probably won't have time for that.
Josh, you're on it.
Ready? Do you want me to count down?
Oh, yes.
I feel more time to hear than
No.
Right, but
So what are you supposed to be?
Okay, countdown.
Oh, I know. Esther Prim.
Alright.
The freshmen are carrying around baskets of scarlet letters to make sure everyone is dressed up. So.
Wait, what?
What are you doing?
People are carrying around.
I am doing a dramatic poem accompanied by music.
I don't know why I'm in it. That's what
For
they gave me.
freshmen?
Maybe.
I was thinking like have or fail, but
But that's just me.
Oh, get out your green book. We'll go back to Publius and Secunda.
Wait, what's that?
Is it? She's not stretching very well.
Even I can do better than that.
Page 2.
Yeah.
what? Page two? Oh. I had like 2 something or
We want to do that every day.
Do you have some?
yeah.
Well, like 5 minutes break.
Oh, are we going to
Yeah.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
were at Publius's large quote. Okay, remember he's talking about the paterfamilias. Who was the paterfamilia?
Him.
The master,
The house.
The head of the household. Good. His wife is the
their
materfamilias. Good. So he's about to describe to Secunda what the quid facet paterfamilias, what the paterfamilias does. So ille totum familiam regit. What's that going to mean, Adele?
The this and that
Uh-huh.
that total
That, what gender is ille?
masculine.
Good, so that
That man.
good. Does what?
Regit. Rego.
Regere, so third conjugation. Rego,
Like
regere,
drive back.
rexi,
Lead.
rectus. I know, because we get leads, rules. Mm-hmm. Good.
So that man rules the total family.
The whole, and familia is family, but also what else? Household. So that man runs
the whole household.
Good. Et liberos et servos.
And that's this.
So when you have two ets, it's
Either nor.
that either or would be if it was out. And et is, what do we say in English? I like two things. I like both.
Both and.
Okay. So he rules the whole household.
And servants.
Both,
Or
not
slaves and servants.
Children.
the children and the servants. Or not many bros. That would be both. Libera. Both the children or the free people. Right? It could mean either one here. Probably here contrasted with servos. So both the free people and the slaves. Etiam. What does etiam mean?
and also
Also, very nice. So also, he Deus familiae colit. Just a lot further way to walk now to pick up. So he also does what?
The name of the god.
Where's your verb?
What does colit mean?
Colit. It's a good question. What do you do to gods?
Pray. Worship.
Worship. So he worships or cultivates. Remember, colo, colore, cultus. Okay, cultivate. So he also cultivates or worships what?
The family. The household gods.
The household's gods. The gods of the household.
Wait, how do you decide what gods are like your household?
Oh, they had the Lares and the Penates who were
Oh wait, so
household
it's not
gods.
like, oh, you guys get this one. It's like
Right, and
they're
some,
like
and
your
some
own
people like,
household
especially
gods.
important people might choose that if they had a particular god they were more interested in, but the household gods were the Lares and the Penates were like the guardian angels to the house, and they had their own little altar. So, and he solus, Mark, what does solus mean?
It means.
Solus, I heard it over here.
Alone.
Alone, good. And he alone.
What? You had your mouth full. I was helping you out.
Omnia negotia Garrett. What does he do all alone?
business.
Good.
Does.
He wages or carries on or does omnia negotia.
All of the business.
All the business, all the jobs.
Does Garrett mean like wage war? Or
When the object is bellum. So it really means to carry on or conduct, but our idiom in English for carrying on war is to wage war.
So it's you don't have to say you can just say like carry on unless
Yeah, definitely. Because they also use it for like carrying on clothes, wearing them, but we wouldn't want to say I'm waging a sweater today. Right?
It just makes sense to say like I'm waging a sweater.
Exactly. So only when the object is bellum do you translate it as wage. Okay. Auctoritas patris. What's that going to mean?
Authority.
Authority. So that's right now. The authority of the father. Good. Quae nobis Romanis patria potestas appellatur. What's quae?
With that.
Which. Good. Or a relative pronoun. So which what?
Is called.
Good. What's it called? It's called by nobis Romanis, by
Our room.
not our Romans, because there'll be no streets, just by what would nobis all by itself mean, which is called by
People.
nobis.
Noble.
We, us.
By us, right? From noster.
Ouch.
Okay. So by us Romanis, by us Romans. What's it called?
the father's power.
Father's power. Patria potestas. Good. Maxima est. So the authority of the father, which is called patria potestas by us Romans,
It's great.
is not just great, but
biggest.
the greatest, the best. Very great. No one had more power than the Roman father. Si servum aut filium interficere cupit. What's si? If. So if he what?
Desires
Good. If he wants to do what?
to kill some
To kill out filium, so
slaves or
a
sons.
slave or a son. If he wants to kill a slave or a child, one of his children.
He has the power.
Potestatem habet. Yeah, he has the power. So a Roman father had the legal power to kill either a slave that was in his household or one of his own children.
So sad.
Does that happen often, or?
There's the story of Brutus. You guys know Brutus, not the one who killed Caesar, but the one who ended the monarchy by throwing out the republic. His sons were threatening the republic by sort of siding with the monarchs, and he actually killed them. That was, so he's a very complicated Roman hero. Yeah.
Himself.
Killed.
He
the sons
himself killed his
Say.
son.
He himself killed
Yeah.
his sons.
And that was within his power. It wasn't exactly something that people were proud of. It was still considered a very difficult and unpleasant thing. But it was his power to do it. It was his legal right to do it. Okay. Said non timere debes. Remember, he's talking to his sister. So, but
He gave. He was not
Or
scared.
debes.
You ought
You ought not timere.
to be scared.
To be scared. So, but you should not be afraid. Right? He's telling her that their father has the power to kill them, but you shouldn't be afraid.
For this
Good.
hard task.
Time.
For at this time,
They want
nulli patres Romani.
none of the Roman fathers
Id cupiant.
Desire.
that.
Want that. So for right now, these days, Roman fathers don't try to kill their children. Pater noster bonus non durus est.
Our good Father.
Our Father is good.
Our Father is good, non durus.
Not hard.
Not harsh. Good.
Is.
Is.
Why is it separated? Why is the S
Oh,
separated?
just like it sounds in English, our Father is good, not harsh. So we would separate that off by a comma also.
Just the word S.
It's actually separating off the non durus. The S just happens to be caught on the outside of it, but what's being separated off is non durus. Our Father is good, not harsh.
Oh.
Okay. Nos eum amamos.
We love.
We love Him.
We love him. Eum. Very nice. Omnes servi eum colunt.
All of the slaves respect him.
Respect. Literally the same word as what? How do we see this?
Cultivate.
Worship or cultivate. But all the slaves worship him, respect him. Because he is severus sed aequus. What does severus mean?
Protecting. Severe.
Severe, right? Just like Severus Snape, you guys. That's the thing. So severe.
I don't know. But
Because he is severe, sed aequus.
but calm.
But calm, or what else can I? Or just fair. But he's tough but fair. I'm sure the slaves really help. Okay. All right. So you guys are going to have homework from this green book, okay? Which is to start the next reading on page 11, a new cousin. A new pheasant, a new pheasant. So you're going to go from line 1 to line 22. Okay, remember this is just review stuff, so it's to review vocabulary. You also want to look over the vocabulary on page 15. Okay, vocabulary review is all words that you have seen before.
When do we have a quiz?
We will have a quiz on Friday.
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
On Thursday, okay. And it will cover.
It's a test.
What?
Whatever,
Oh, it's a
same
quiz.
thing.
Not
Don't
really.
worry.
Quiz will take 15 minutes. Test will take an hour.
I'm scared.
And it will be on mostly vocab, okay, and the reflexives. But the vocab is going to be a lot, so you also want to be studying your vocab, okay?
Do we
Tonight.
Like the stuff that you gave us last week.
Right, so the stuff from last week, including the review vocabulary, and that'll be the review vocabulary on page 8, and also the stuff on page 15. Okay? Again, those shouldn't be too frightening to you because they're old words, but do look over them, make sure you know them. Okay? And we'll go over one more chapter of vocabulary from the red book tomorrow.
Will these all be on school?
Yep.
It already is.
It's already in school. Hopefully on the right day.
It's weird that it's second semester.
No, it's awesome. It is awesome this semester.
I couldn't put it together until yesterday that we were like halfway done with the year.